On Friday, Saudi Arabia strongly criticized Israel's request for Palestinians to evacuate Gaza and expressed its condemnation of the ongoing attacks on defenseless civilians. Foresight into a potential ground invasion, the Israeli military issued a warning to over 1 million Gaza City residents, urging them to move south within 24 hours while deploying tanks near the Gaza Strip. Saudi Arabia urged the global community to take prompt action to halt any further military escalation against innocent civilians and prevent a humanitarian disaster from unfolding. The international community must provide the needed relief and medical needs for the people of Gaza, especially since deprivation of basic necessities for a decent life violates international humanitarian law. A statement from the Foreign Ministry said. Riyadh additionally cautioned that failing to act would worsen the already dire crisis and increase the suffering experienced by the people in the region. Saudi Arabia called for the cessation of the Israeli blockade in Gaza, the safe evacuation of wounded civilians, and the advancement of the peace process between Palestinians and Israelis in alignment with UN Security Council resolutions and the Arab Peace Initiative. The API specifically outlines the creation of an independent Palestinian state with its capital in East Jerusalem based on the 1967 borders. The common people have questioned now and again why the Arab countries are silent over the ongoing humanitarian crisis of the people of Gaza.
They are brothers and sisters of ours struggling across the globe for different reasons. Take a look at Palestine and what's happening there right now. Totally unacceptable, absurd. It bleeds. It causes the bleeding of the heart. And you know what? It hurts our souls. We want to see goodness and justice. We want to see a stop to the oppression and aggression. We would like to see protection of Masjid al-Aqsa, etc., etc. My brothers, my sisters, that is the duty, not just of the Muslims, but of every human being, to want peace, goodness, justice, stability, a stop to aggression, oppression, and protection of the Holy Lands. May Allah Almighty grant that to us.
Ameen.
My brothers, my sisters, usually in Ramadan, I travel to a different part of the world or different parts of the world. Taraweeh, Salat Taraweeh we participate in, and a lot of lectures we do. This time it was a little bit different, where I decided, you know what, after many years I need to, in Ramadan, visit the Holy Lands, perhaps to help ourselves enrich, get closer to Allah, spiritual enrichment, and become better people, and concentrate on personal ibadah and acts of worship. But in the same breath, I thought to myself, wherever we get an opportunity of da'wah, we will seize it. And so subhanallah, I was invited to Dubai, and I started off Ramadan in Medina. I dashed over to Mecca, made Umrah, came back, and then I went to Dubai for 3 days. The first day we had a massive event at the Al-Manar Islamic Center. It was a beautiful event attended by thousands of people. We had a shahada, and we have regular shahadas. Through this month of Ramadan, I don't even know how many shahadas we've had, alhamdulillah, be they online or offline, or in public or in private. But my brothers and sisters, the next day we had another program also in Dubai, which was absolutely amazing at the Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Masjid, and it was beautiful. Thousands of you attended, and the talks are posted online, mashallah, tabarakallah. The following day also we had the third event, public event. It was amazing in the same masjid, Masjid al-Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid. And this event was also beamed. I had recorded it on my phone. You know, whenever you see these videos on my YouTube channel, a lot of them are recorded just with my own phone. Right now I'm speaking from the same phone, subhanallah. So my brothers and sisters, something happened that was very different from how it was portrayed later on. And I want to talk about this a little bit, because I know from amongst you, there are people who are genuine. That's the majority. And then there are mischief makers trying to push agendas. We need to be careful of them. Then there are journalists. Each one of them has a different level of fear of Allah if they're Muslim. And each one of them could be belonging to a little group, or sometimes heavily politicized to a certain country, or to a certain cause. And so they look at everyone else as enemies. They seize the opportunity of something to just say a word that would put down everyone who doesn't support their own cause. So let me explain to you what happened. The third day, and I left later on after the event on that day, and the masjid event, I left, and I actually left the UAE because I had to continue in my journeys. Right now, if you want to know where I am, I'm speaking to you, I am in Doha, in the capital of Qatar. And this evening we have a massive event in Qatar, the amphitheater. And inshallah, I pray it will be a huge success by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to speak all about Ramadan. Literally, that's the topic I was given, all about Ramadan. And inshallah, we want to showcase it to the people and talk about it and what we're going to benefit from it and so on and so forth, and what it does to us, inshallah. But the evening before I left Dubai, I was invited by the hosts, the Islamic Affairs, to say, today we'll be having iftar, inshallah. I had iftar anyway the previous few days. And that particular day, we had iftar at a certain place where they had invited people from all walks of life. Most of them were Muslim, probably 1,000+ people from what my eyes saw. And thereafter, I met a lot of Muslims, a lot of Christians, a lot of Hindus, a lot of Sikhs, and many others. And we sat for iftar. I had my iftar, I broke my fast, I made my Salatul Maghrib, greeted a few people and went away. Those who know me know I don't like to sit for too long somewhere. I like to just, sit, do whatever I have to and leave. Because we were there for an iftar, I had that iftar. Just before iftar, a Jewish man sat next to me. I asked him who he was and where he was from. He was from New York, lived in Dubai for quite a few years. He said about 8 years, I think. And mashallah, there was a very light discussion. I had no presentation there. I had no major participation there. I was just a guest who came in and had iftar, made salat al-maghrib and went. The idea of that iftar was in order to showcase the Ramadan to the non-Muslims who are resident of the UAE. That's not a bad idea.
It was a gathering.
And it happens in London, it happens in Canada, it happens in US, it happens in Muslim countries, it happens in so many communities, it happens so much across the globe where, the iftar and the Ramadan and Islam and so on and the teachings and the way it happens and what it's supposed to do for us and the ambience of it is all showcased to people who don't know much about Islam. So later on when I left, I saw a few news articles that were quite accurate initially. That there was this iftar arranged by so and so for people of all faiths to get together who are living in the UAE, and the idea is the harmony and the understanding and so on and so forth, which is true. Later on, I noticed, and I'm going to say a name. I'm in Doha right now, and I'm in Qatar, and imagine that would prove to you that I've got nothing to do with the politics of everything. We're above it, subhanallah. But truth be said, Al Jazeera Arabic wrote a very mischievous title. They gave it a very deceiving title that was serving an agenda of hate, nothing else.